Angry Birds. Fucking Angry Birds. I hate this game. David? David? David! What are you doing?
You can see me?
Very well.
He can see me!
David? What is with the fucking alarm?
Oh, sorry.
And where did you come from?
That was my shark alarm. Goes off when there's sharks. Like nearby.
David, we're not even near a river, let alone the ocean right now.
And that's why I installed the shark alarm, because this is exactly where the sharks would think that you're safe. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need a wet nap to clean up that mess from me blowing your fucking mind? Oh, we watched a movie today.
Shark Week. Brouhaha.
I hope it's okay. Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I am just confounded at this point. Yeah.
Shall I?
Plot.
Plot?
If.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dum-da-dum-da-dum-dum-dum.
We
Okay.
We actually need help on this one.
It was so fucking boring. Here we go.
It was also because what really went on? What?
Here we go. Also, character names are bitch. So we'll do our best with that, but we will fail miserably.
Constantly.
A wealthy madman who has lost his son in a drug accident goes awry, kidnaps a group of people responsible for his death. The group of complete strangers finds themselves isolated on an island compound. They are forced into a horrifying gauntlet where they must survive a barrage of even deadlier species of sharks. In increasing difficult tests set by the madman and his Massachusetts mistress, the group must navigate a series of tasks or die trying. The island is apparently well-wired for hidden cameras, microphones... we'll get to that. Well-wired for hidden cameras, microphones, and speakers, so the madman can watch and communicate to the group over the 7 days of the challenges he presents. That was 7 days. Did you even get that? That was like 3.
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, whatever.
The group size slowly diminishes as they succumb to increasingly difficult and dangerous tasks. The resulting final survivor ends up in a final climactic scene where a confrontation occurs in with the group's tormentors. / plot. All right.
Wow, that literally just whittled down. I was like, all right, guys, only one person is going to survive this shit.
Yeah.
All right, so any of the people, so just kind of put a bet on who's going to be who. Now, of course, there are the people who are like, especially like the major stereotypes that you know are going to fucking...
You got the guy who's rich, and he's like, I shouldn't be in this situation.
I have a chip in my... No, I don't.
You got the junkie with something to prove.
Yeah.
You got the survivalist.
The survivalist also is one of the first people to go.
No, he isn't.
The original one.
Oh, the original one, yeah.
Like, the EMT, the guy who actually knows how to survive, he was one of the first ones to go. Now, the survivalist, he was, like, the, second to last to go.
How many were there? I'm trying to remember that little image they had.
I'm pretty sure there were 8 of them, because one guy got pushed in at the very beginning, so there were 7.
Right. No. There were 8.
Because, remember that one guy...
But the one guy wasn't counted on the chart, because then there would have been a skull there before the first... Oh, no, that
there was.
Guy.
I'm pretty sure.
I remember what you're saying.
Yeah. No, not in the very, very beginning.
Right.
No, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Asylum. Talk about what's-his-face.
Oh, yeah, it was great when he first found that out. Like, the moment that Asylum came up on the screen, I'm like, yes, we haven't done one of their movies in a while.
I was sitting over there, I was taking a sip of Coke, and he's like, all right, I found a movie. Press play. He set it on a little thing. We started watching of The Asylum Presents. I was like, fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey.
Fucking fuck face fucker. Fuck you.
Put me through that shit last week with that stupid ass misleading title.
I didn't know.
Hey, to be fair or whatnot, at least this movie, if it really was 7 days, it's true. It's a week involving sharks. Like,
oh my god, I forgot that there was week in the title.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was literally 7 days. If everyone and also the thing is though, it wasn't 7 days. And even if it was, like the thing is, I would make sense considering there was only 7 people left in there or whatnot, so one person would die a day, but they don't do that.
They have 2 people die one day, no people die another day apparently.
Yeah, and then there's at least twice 2 people get I'm pretty sure it was twice that it happened where 2 people were killed at the same time.
I don't know.
I don't know that for sure. Don't hold me to that. All right.
Let's just go into a bit of...
I will say a little bit of background real
that's what I was
quick
saying.
on the people who made this movie. Now, I don't really know the actors or anything in this film. Thought I did, but I didn't. But the director of this film, was a name that I recognized. Now, his name is Christopher Olin Ray. And I got him confused with somebody else. But this makes sense because this somebody else is his dad. And his dad is Fred Olin Ray. Now, if you're a fan of the Cinema Snob, you have definitely come across this name. This is the guy who brought us Chainsaw Hookers. And the thing is, both Fred and Christopher... Now, Christopher is a big Asylum director. He's done a couple of the really big name ones, like, was it like Monster Shark vs. Croctopus or whatever the holy hell it was, and Two-Headed Shark Attack. He's done like the big shark ones. I think he's got like this fetish for sharks. His dad even did Super Shark.
Okay, from the dialogue in this film, I'd say somebody had a fetish for sharks. Because Jesus Christ.
He didn't write this one. I don't think he did anyway.
No, they didn't. I'm looking at it.
So like it's a little mind-boggling. Now, I will say, though, the main villain, what's his name again?
Tiburon.
Something botched, apparently. But the main villain and whatnot, the actor who plays him is actually the best person in the movie.
Indeed.
He actually sells it, and I really wish the script did 2 things. 1 was better written, but then again, it wouldn't be on the show if it was. But 2, at the same time, they needed to give him more lines, more screen time. He needed to mug more. All right.
Hold on.
Yeah, you go.
Here's the thing.
I'm formulating ideas.
2 things I want to go over. I'm going to talk about Tiburon first because
this is a mix of 3 different things.
Tiburon, he is very hammy. Very hammy, but everybody else plays like...
He was pretty cool in the very beginning scene, because you don't see him.
They
like him very well. Almost every time you see him, he alone is extremely well lit. He looks like the most interesting man in the world from the Dos Equis commercial.
But here's the thing. He's very hammy, but it's that every other actor/actress in this film is fucking Commander Shepard. Just fucking... Oh, I think we should do this, and this, and there's other things. Sharks!
Sharks!
How will we survive this? Shut the fuck up. At least this guy, he's showing some emotion. He's going for it. He's like, you killed my son! You killed my son!
He's going for the gold.
He is. He's
going for the Oscar.
Whether that gold's an Oscar or a Razzie, he's going for something rather than just background.
Hey, at least he's trying, man. I give him props for that.
But the second thing that I wanted to go over that doesn't talk about Tiburon, because I was proud of it, and I have to say it, here's how predictable this movie was, okay? Like, you'd say, oh, you guys just seen the plot before. No, I got this predictable. They were going through fucking character names. The exposition, they were introducing each one of the characters, where it's like, here's this guy named Cal, and here's this guy named Lena. And no, we couldn't read a fucking single one of them.
They had like whole bios and whatnot.
Like, up for a second, you got it good. But
you barely had enough time to read the names. So at least like one of them was like, hey, go!
Whoa!
So as soon as it was up, it was gone.
I think the length of their bio on screen is how long they were going to live through the movie.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyway, so there was like 2 guys left in the lineup that they were going to do. So they pulled the mask off the one guy, and it was this guy. And I said, I bet his name's going to be Frank. Bio comes up. Name is Frankie.
Funny thing is, the actor's name is Frank.
I didn't even know that either, so I was double right, bitch.
So it's like he just like refuses, I guess, to be a different name. He's like, I am Frank. I am always Frank.
Anyway,
Frankie.
That's how predictable this movie is. That not only the plots are that predictable, but the fucking character names are even that predictable.
For the reason for me why this film is extremely predictable is for 3 reasons. This movie is extremely like a lot of 2 different films mixed in with sharks. It's the sharks mixed in with these 2 movies. And it really is The Punisher meets Battle Royale. Now let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back into the fact that the entirety of this shit that's going on. Tiburon, or whatever the hell his name is, he is watching this all the time on a monitor feed, and he's able to communicate with them via basically a sound system, exactly like the teacher did in Battle Royale. Whenever he fucking announced every single day, his voice woke them up. He says what that was going to happen, they needed to get around, and also he announced who the fuck is dying and shit that day or whatever. So the thing is, you mix that also with the Punisher, because his whole goddamn thing is that, just like John Travolta's character, and this is the Punisher, it was like the old one, the first Punisher movie.
Oh, okay, I was going to say John Travolta.
No, John Travolta is the main bad guy in that movie. So the thing is, though, his son dies on a botched drug deal that goes awry, and he's not even supposed to be there because this other guy was supposed to be looking after him and whatnot. And the thing is, though, at the very end of it, this one guy who all of his family has been destroyed, and all the friends around him who has been killed and mangled and stuff like that, finally gets his vengeance and whatnot by stabbing the fucker. And I'm like, you know what? This is exactly... This movie is ripping off films that have nothing to do with his content member. You think I wouldn't notice?
Here's the thing.
I don't have a life, okay? This is what I do.
All right. Here is problems I had. Moving on. The intro joke we had of, whoa. This guy has little hidden cameras all over his property, okay? Now, okay, you have cameras all over your property. Fine, that's fine. And maybe the characters are aware of them. But some of the times in this movie, you can see what he's seeing on his computer screen, and the camera is this fucking far away from the character. Now, I don't know if you...
Either you're really zoomed in.
No, if you are out on a fucking island and have no contact to fucking humanity, and you have a camera that far away from your face, you're not going to worry about saving face and not looking at the camera. You're going to be like, well, how the fuck do we get off this island? It's not like you're just going to ignore it. Not all of these people were actors beforehand.
I always thought that it was like those hovering robot things from the Phantom Menace. And it's just going to hang there and whatnot and beep at you.
The second problem I had is the Tiburon character is so incredibly handy, but he is the enjoyable one in this movie.
I wish everybody was like this guy.
The problem being that he's only enjoyable when he's not doing anything with the other people. As soon as the games begin, as soon as he drops them in the island, he is sitting behind a computer screen going, well done, and here's another shark.
I wanted him to, be like...
Right.
I wanted him to be like Dr. Evil version. Here you have sharks with laser beams attached to their heads. Good luck.
As soon as this guy gets behind the computer monitor, he's just like, rah, 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 rah. But sometimes he gets out and he talks to his wife or his whore, I don't even fucking know.
Yeah,
he talks to his lover.
That dynamic is never explained.
And he's just way over the top. He's like, you mean nothing to me. I will feed you to the sharks myself. And we're like,
good for you.
I like you.
Alright, I got also a problem just now that I thought. Twice you see these characters, and this is how a couple characters get picked off. Twice you see the characters go into the water where, it's in the ocean water. Mm-hmm. The last two sharks are in the ocean water. Why aren't those sharks swimming away? Sharks are predatory, migratory creatures and whatnot. They will return to the same spots depending on whatnot. Lots of sharks are creatures that have it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, they're not going to hang around there all fucking year.
What?
Unless this movie is like Deep Blue Sea, where it's like they're highly intelligent sharks and shit like that. I'm like, which I don't believe. This movie's not that smart.
The movie makes a point at the very beginning where he's just talking about these sharks, and we made the point of the sharks are not killers by nature.
Very few people are actually ever killed or even attacked by sharks.
Now, the people who are killed, usually the sharks don't have a food supply or something, and they are desperate for survival. They're not just going to be
many reasons.
I feel like killing that particular human today. Nom 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 nom. No, he's just gonna fucking eat to survive. Now, if he's starving these sharks, Okay, that's a possibility. But he seems to be fucking in love with these goddamn sharks. Him and his whore. Because there's this whole conversation at the beginning where they're like,
dear gods,
these sharks are the purest things back from the old times of dinosaurs. They have moved through the generations unchanged, pure. They are gods of this world. I'm like,
you want to fuck a shark, don't you?
you really like that dorsal thing, don't you? That's a thing for you.
You want to... It's going to be like that song, Gay Fish, and whatnot.
Oh,
It's like, I want to have an orgy in your motherfucking fish tank.
You're going to go Kanye on that shark, aren't you?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Point being,
What's
these
up?
aren't the type of people that are going to starve these sharks. They want these sharks to survive more than these people, it seems like.
It's like these
They're
are those...
straight up PETA of these sharks.
Oh God, man! This is what happens. This is what's gonna happen to Joaquin Phoenix in like 40 years and whatnot. He's gonna be this crazed guy living on an island and whatnot, like breeding sharks and shit. I will take over the world. I will do it. Once I tried to do it with my rap career, and now I will do it with my sharks. I know that documentary is fake, but still at the same time, joke.
Anyway, so yeah, that's always a problem when your character's motivations don't make sense. Of course, his main motivation is his son. The mad rich guy's son was killed in a botched drug thing, and all these different characters had some, however minute, some hand in his son dying.
I did like how they pieced it together, though, because they at least made it competent. The one problem I had, though, with the character, it was at the very end, where the surviving character confronts him. This guy, throughout the entire movie and whatnot, he's rich, he's powerful, he's dangerous, he has a whole army at his disposal and whatnot, which apparently is always just the same two guys going around kidnapping people in California.
Just California, too. Like a tri-county area.
Just California, yeah.
That's it.
But the thing is, though, at the same time, at the very end, he's just standing out on a cliff, watching the waves and whatnot, and she walks up with a fucking harpoon. He has nothing more than a goddamn umbrella. And I'm like, alright, you gotta have like a sword or something in that. You need to fight. This guy deserves an actual battle at the end. His goddamn bitch got a battle in, and she got blown up by a goddamn landmine. He gets stabbed in the stomach and falls into the ocean with a Wilhelm scream.
Alright, 3 things we need to talk about because you brought them up in rapid succession. Number 1, landmines. There is a scene where no sharks, just landmines along this beach.
Because stuff.
Here's what happens, and how predictable is it, alright? There is the one character who is just bitching about, like, landmines, and he's like, oh my god, I almost stepped on one. Now,
Did you ever seen
stop,
Behind Enemy Lines?
Pause this film. Cool. Are you back? Have you figured it out? You know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. They're slowly making their way through, and what happens? Click. Uh-oh. I can't move, guys. I can't do it. The only subversion they throw is that they're like, alright, here's what we're going to do. Run. Outrunning explosions of landmines. They end up picking up one to use on a shark later.
The guy, like, alright, these are obviously pressure sensors, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's why the whole tension bit and whatnot, he steps on it, whatnot. This guy fucking grabs it. If you grabbed a goddamn landmine like that, it would go off.
Yeah.
They aren't frisbees in which that you can just throw, and they look like frisbees.
Second thing we need to go over is the fight that the wife whore lady got. Wow. Okay, so...
Where did all this rage come from?
She crawls out... Yeah, okay, this lady, I don't know if she's like...
Maybe we missed it, but at the same time...
Is she the mother of the son?
I guess.
Is she just a whore?
She's high all the goddamn time.
Oh my god, she's,
moving.
like, actor-wise, is drunk.
She was inebriated in some way, because her eyes are like this the whole time.
The sharks are gods.
They're gods.
So is this Jack.
Push them. I don't want you to leave this island alive.
That's what happened. The one lady gets out of the water. She's like, cough, cough, please, please. I can't believe I survived. Just fucking bitch slapped by this lady who's just trying to kill her. It's like, you don't get to leave alive.
Tries to stab her with a fucking harpoon.
We have no idea. This lady, we have no idea as to her
story
relation. That's the thing. Maybe they said it. Maybe we weren't listening. That's a full possibility. But if your movie's so boring and you still can't get that across,
I was paying attention and I still missed it. So
we don't know what she is, and she's just so pissed off at this. But she ends up dying.
And we're giving you the benefit of the doubt that you actually explain this.
Maybe. That's a bad thing because of point number 3. This dude fucking Tyrus, or whatever the fuck Tyrion Lannister.
Now,
Nah.
don't you dare.
This guy, he is setting up this
Dos
entire...
Equis.
He's setting up this entire fucking thing. Just to get these people punished for their crimes against his son.
Even though you would think that he would go like the hostile route or something like that, or like get them all in a room and torturing them.
I was gonna say, you think they go like the Saw route, where even if you win, you lose.
And you can even have the whole shark thing and whatnot, just have them like slowly lowered and slowly eaten away by sharks and whatnot. We were coming up with this shit on the top of our heads, and it's better than this plot.
But instead, this guy, whereas the lady was like, "You aren't gonna leave alive, even though you won the game." Boom, boom, boom. This guy, he doesn't fucking care. He's like, "Yes, you won the game. I don't care about my son anymore. You can leave. There's a helicopter over there. You can go.
I have yachts. I have many. Pick one.
Pick one. You can take it. It's yours. I don't care about my son. You win.
You killed my son. But, oh well. You killed my son.
The other lady, who we don't know if there's a relation to the son, is more determined to get revenge for the son than the father who set the whole fucking thing up.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's the mom, but at the same time, though, the way that she like kind of exits the picture, and she's like, "I killed your whore. You can always replace whores.
Yeah.
I can't replace my son. My son was my pride and joy." So I'm like...
He made that speech not 10 seconds before he said, "But you're free to go."
And how is it that you don't have any armed guards? How is it that there isn't somebody watching you from a sniper's nest or
something? How is it you don't have the two-headed shark or sharktopus coming up?
I mean, you have the budget to get on this island. I mean, or at least on this coastline. Oh! The spot with the landmines on the beach.
Just before the landmines, they are doing a shot where it's like, "Come on, we have to get through this." And they shoot a few different angles. There's one angle in the very, very far distant back. You can see a lighthouse. This is a private island owned by...
That I can understand, though, considering it's an island in international water, so no one runs aground. That I let slip.
Then they showed a reverse shot, which showed like a little beach house, like life. Like it seemed like where the guards would hang out. At a public beach. It seemed like they were hanging out. But we'll pass it off as maybe that's the guards building or something. We don't know.
That we never see.
And then we turned around one more time, and they give out a slightly wider shot. And there's just huge fucking stairway leading off the beach, presumably to the boardwalk of this motherfucking public beach area that is so obviously a public beach area.
Yeah, they did nothing whatsoever.
Motherfucker.
They did nothing whatsoever to camouflage this.
They went to Dakota's backyard.
There was... in the very beginning and whatnot, a couple places did look like it was Dakota's house.
Very much so. We were like...
oh shit, man. Are like Christopher Olin-Ray and Dakota neighbors? Like,
I hope not.
I mean, they did shoot in Miami, apparently, so I'm like, it's probably, like, he probably stayed at Dakota's place while he was shooting those scenes. But, I mean, it's kind of the overall problem with this movie in and of itself was just the fact of the matter is it's just... There's nothing about it that... Why would you need to make this into a movie?
No, that was the point we were making at the very beginning. As soon as they fell into the initial pool, like test number 1, of just little baby sharks that are nipping at them.
It's like, alright, we know exactly how this shit's gonna go.
We were gonna say, like,
it's
why...
repetition to the nth degree.
As soon as they got thrown into that, we're like, why is this still a thing? As soon as you reach the first shark, it's like, okay, we know what's going to happen for the next 7 sharks. It's just a question of who's going to die.
The first scene where you see this one guy like jump into the water and he tries to get the key and will not unlock himself and he stands up without the key, with like, the chains held high, and then Tiberian or whatever the fuck. I'm going to call him Tiberius just because that's a better name.
James Tiberius Kirk.
More like Tiberius the Emperor. But,
well, fine, go with that. Whatever, fuck you.
But I'm not a Trekkie. But the thing is, Tiberius...
Alright. Last little problem we need to go
He is the only good thing about this movie, and everything about this movie just doesn't fucking matter.
Last thing we need to go over real quick, or at least I want to go over, is the just the stellar performances from the actors. Because we did go over Tiburon.
We're going to die!
Yeah, that sums it up. They do not give a shit that they're here. Every single one of them is just like throwing in just the most, like, I'm here, give me my paycheck so I can leave.
To be honest, actually, some of their best, like, surprise faces is the equivalent of getting really hit hard in the face with bass at a show. It's like...
Oh, God. Was that a shark? I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh, and the thing is, though, alright, in the first shark scenes and whatnot, they're all underground.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, alright, so it's really dark, you can barely see anything, but then you get out into the light, and then you see the fucking effects. I'm like, well, that explains the dark parts.
That's rule number one. If you don't have good effects, you don't...
We turned the brightness all the way up to a point at which that the entire image was, like, basically blown out. Like, all, like, the blacks were grays and shit, just so we could see what the fuck was happening.
And we still couldn't see what the fuck was happening.
No, barely. We saw a little bit more.
We saw, like, a little bit of flesh here, a little bit of shark tooth there, but then, nah. I'm sorry. Do you want to know who's winning that battle?
Remember that scene where the rich guy goes back down into the hole and he punches out teeth from the shark, but he gets only, like,
he only
five.
Gets, like, 5 for everyone.
Like, one for everyone. I'm like, you know, you could use a lot of those. Like, make those into, like, a fucking sword and saw shit. Yeah. Like, use your imaginations. Now, alright, you understand, like, a lot of people especially, like, say that we overthink this, especially since it's Asylum. Like, Asylum is a very self-aware parody, remake-exploitation type of thing. They make things just... bleh. But, at the same time, though, there are plenty of enjoyable Asylum films. The Sherlock Holmes one, especially, like, 'cause who doesn't love Iron Man? Fuck you, David. And it's like, I actually like Transmorphers. I like that better than the second Transformers, anyway. But concluding my whole thoughts, and I'm just wrapping up. Okay. You can do what you wish. Yeah. But my whole shtick is that this movie is just a forgetful experience. The only good thing is the villain, and he's not even used to his full potential. So, yeah.
All right. Here's what I think.
Thumbs down.
Here's what I think about Shark Week brouhaha. This film is not terrible. This film's nowhere close to as bad as we've seen. Never has Asylum ever gotten to the point where we, like, physically just wish to shut the film off. It's always,
Super Cyclone was getting there.
It was getting there, but it wasn't there.
It was almost at the precipice, but it stood back from the madness.
We've seen so much worse, and maybe that's the issue. We've ruined our palates. But the issue that really comes desensitized is that it's always enjoyable badness to an extent. Sometimes it's boring as fuck, but it's never to the point where you want to pay attention just so you can get it over with. When it comes down to this film, nothing stood out as absolutely terrible. The effects were there. The actors were there. The locations were there. Nothing was bad. Nothing was good, except for Tiburon, and even he was hammy only because they didn't give him anything else to do. I feel like he was only hammy because the actor was like, look, I'm aging, and I just want to fucking have fun on this one.
I want a paycheck. I want a hotel room in Malibu.
Yeah. So I'm not going to blame anybody for this particular film. It wasn't terrible. The only thing they really got wrong is all the lack of potential. You look at movies, Sharknado, Sharktopus, Two-Headed Shark Attack, Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus. All these films take something...
A bunch of these movies directed by Christopher Ray.
All these movies take something about sharks and make them somewhat interesting. But this movie didn't rely on the sharks. This could have been an entire movie about, like, pufferfish, and it would have been the exact same film. It had nothing to do with sharks at all. Yeah. Except for how society has said, like, sharks, they're going to kill you no matter what. Bitch, show me fucking, like...
evidence.
Mosquitoes. Okay? Mosquito week. That's terrifying. That's, like, the most uncomfortable thing I can imagine.
Like lasers, mosquitoes from, like, Jumanji, too? Is
that big-ass shit, fuck, man. I would immediately freak out.
Send you into cardiac arrest and, like, shock.
Like, Hornet week. Ugh. But Shark Week? No, it's just fucking sharks. Yes, people are terrified of sharks. I understand that. You're bringing this down to least common denominator.
Oh, remember when they referenced the Discovery Channel without referencing the Discovery Channel?
Yeah, it's like, I saw this on some Learning Nature channel or something. It's just...
It was a series of documentaries on a Learning Nature channel.
I believe it lasted
all
for a
about
week.
sharks. I believe it lasted for a week, or it could have been 7 days.
Who knows? But that was... I see no reason as to why this film had to be Shark Week and why they couldn't make the sharks fucking interesting. Honestly. Like, and you made it as a joke earlier, but Dr. Evil's fucking laser beams on their fucking head.
Yeah.
Do it!
Do something.
Just
Or do it like Deep Blue Sea. Make them really fucking smart.
Instead, you just have normal sharks that, instead of being, normal sharks...
Yeah, none of these things are, like, genetically enhanced and whatnot. Like, these are just,
they're
like,
pure and from the Jurassic and... In conclusion, this was not a bad movie. This was a wasted opportunity. That's what this film was.
It's disappointment.
Yes, because all in all this film did to try to remind me here was the exact same thing that Jaws taught me however long ago I watched that. And that's always that sharks are out to get you, and they're going to attack at any given moment, so you always need to be... That's a shark alarm, Matt. Shark is nearby, Matt. Shark is near...